we are ready to kick it off by stepping up our mental game. Alright, so we are going to step up our mental game, but first we need to know why. Now the reason I came to this is because I was at a restaurant and a buddy of mine, really, who I just got to know, he asked me like, yo, what is it actually that you do, Michael? I mean, because I still don't understand it, right? So, okay, I said, you know what, I explained to him and I said, it's important to be aware of your focus, of your inner focus, of your mind, because what you focus on expands, and that is going to determine how good you feel. And he said, I still don't understand it, right? And obviously, after explaining that to him, what that is, going in detail, he still didn't understand it. There might be two reasons, right? So one, he's not open to it. He's got a fixed mindset, and he has his beliefs. They're hard and hardly ingrained into him, and so he's really not open. Or second, he doesn't understand it because he doesn't know the experience. He doesn't know what it means to feel himself, good all the time, to feel conscious, right? Because that's what consciousness is. Consciousness is being aware of self. Being aware of self because you've learned how to listen to the inner symptoms, the inner signals of your body. And consciousness in and of itself, inside the body, is necessary, but also consciousness of the external environment. Now, obviously, we interpret the external environment through our senses, through our perceptions, our vision, our hearing, our feeling, right? This is all information that is filtered by our perceptions, and it creates a stimulus to our brain through our autonomic and central nervous system. And once it goes through the brain, it is interpreted. It gets interpreted by our brain and our experiences we had with similar events. It tries to match, and then we make assumptions. And these are dangerous, right? Because we tend to believe that is the true fact. Black and white thinking. Black and white thinking is dangerous. And so that might be the reason. The fact that he had his beliefs, or the fact that he wasn't conscious enough. So how do you step up your mental game then? Right? Because he wasn't conscious enough, because maybe I should explain that the fact that he wasn't taking care so much of his body, his inner senses, he wasn't so much aware, or he didn't create so much stimulus, which is what you do with meditation and stuff like that. He couldn't interpret the outer environment as well, because he wasn't so much inside of his body. He hasn't learned how to listen to his body. So, okay, that's when you step up your mental game. How? You become conscious by taking care of your body. It's simple, because you are what you eat. How well did you sleep? So your central nervous system and autonomic nervous system are relaxed and can do their jobs. And are you meditating? Right? Because all these things, there are two basic things if we make it very simple, like the electric stimulus, which is created by your system, by your nervous system. And then there's the enteric system, like the blood, right? Which is important because there's water, and that's where the electric stimuli are passing through, right? So, and I want you to visualize, if you eat well, you take care of your body, your enteric nervous system, or you know, your blood is going to be pure. So that way your organs are going to be pure, and if they work pure, you can have, you know, your hormones balanced, you feel well, you have a healthy body, healthy skin. Why? Because there's a constant flow. If you picture a river that is not contaminated, that is pure water, go to the mountains. What do you see? Stream, pure water that is, you know, that is constantly flowing. And you can wash yourself in it, you can drink from it. Or then you have a river which is extremely contaminated, and that river is stagnating, right? It's stagnant. And so there's a lot of trash in there, and it smells bad, right? Why? Because things rot in there. There's no fish that can live in there, whilst in the mountains, for instance, right, there's a lot of fish. Nature's thriving right there. That same way, if you don't take care of your body, if you eat shit all day long and you don't give it what it needs, it will become stagnant. And so the blood cannot flow through. So your organs won't work well. You won't digest well. And that same way, everything gets cluttered, everything gets stagnant, so you become stagnant, you become rotten, you become cluttered, right? So how can you then be aware of yourself? And if you can't be aware of yourself, like I said, you need to have the stimuli inside, because we interpret our environment through our body, through our senses. But if we don't match, or if we don't master our senses, how the hell do you want to master your environment? Because your environment is full of obstacles, is full of information, stimuli, impulses. But if you can't observe them, right, because your vision is not well, or because you don't hear well, or you don't feel well, you don't sense well, or you don't pay attention to certain things that are being said, you won't learn, you won't have those experiences. That's why it's crucial you take care of your body, because it's completely holding you back from your full potential. Because if you don't take care of your body, you won't never reach your potential, because you can't learn, because we learn through experience, and you won't experience the things fully that your body can completely experience it fully free. So that's when we take care of our body. That's one, by sleeping well, by eating well, drinking the water that it needs, by breathing well so that we can pump our body so that the river can flow and pass on information, new information, pure information, so that we can learn and observe our environment and get more experiences. And then we learn how to meditate, because meditation is listening to oneself, is listening to the information inside of you that is going on. It's like listening to a friend, right? Let's say you see your friend and he's crying, and if you don't listen to him, you will never know what is going on. You just say, eh. But if you go to your friend and you ask him, hey, what's up, dude, man, really, why are you crying? Oh man, this and that. You get information, and maybe you can help him, but you know what's going on, right? And so that same way, that fear that is inside of you, that pain that is inside of you, that anger, you just treat it as a friend. Right? Because that information inside of you wants to tell you something. Like your friend needs help, and you can help him. You listen to your fear inside, you listen to your anger, and you say, what's up, anger? Why are you angry, man? Hey, it's alright. Okay? We'll get through this together, right? I know I've created you. Why don't you tell me what's going on and how we can resolve it? You've got the information inside of you because you gotta own all the feelings inside of you, right? Just that same way that your friend has got the information on what's going on with him, you are responsible for that feeling. You know what's going on. You know what created it. And even if you don't, you just listen to it and that feeling will express itself and things will go easier on you. So you get your game up, your level of game on your mental game if you meditate, because you listen to yourself and you're constantly, when you become aware of your hands, when you become aware of your feet, and you breathe and you feel your body, you can feel your organs because there's a lot of information flowing through, a lot of information, energy that is going. There's constant information from your brain, right, to all the perceptions that you have in your hands, in your organs. Every time you do that, that stimulus becomes faster and better, right? Just like carving away becomes, in the beginning, it's really hard, right? You start digging, and once you've got momentum, you can go through easily, right? So that's with practice. Meditation is practice. It's like one shovel at a time, right? Until you've got that road, and then you learn to master all the inner perceptions inside of you. And the better you can do that, the better you can observe your environment, what is going on around you, the motives of people, the weather, the birds, cars, like dangerous, right, on the road. Even if you're outside and you go camping, when there's a bear, you become so aware of your environment that those stimuli don't have so much effect anymore on you. You go from a reaction mode to responsive mode, right? Because when you are in reaction mode, that means that you respond unconsciously, and you say, it's like survival mode, right? Oh shit, fear, boom, you fly, you run away. But if you're aware and you can sense that, you can feel it, you can see it from beforehand, that's when you respond and your reaction is calm, and you say, okay, listen, I know that there's a bear coming, so what is the best thing we can do, right? This is an extreme example, but let's say, before you cross the street, you're aware, right? You say, okay, well, this is a street. No car, let's go. But many people, what we tend to do is like, we're thinking and we cross the street, and sometimes we're not even aware of that we're crossing the street, and this is just crossing the street, man. How about your food choices? What you put in your mouth? Are you aware of that? The more aware you are of your environment, the better choices you will make in terms of food, in terms of sleep, in terms of connecting with the right people. So that's why we have to get our mental game up to the next level by meditation, by eating right, sleeping right, doing everything it takes so that we can get into that responsive mode instead of reaction mode. So, and that's the lesson for today, episode 17 of MVDB Speaks. I wish you well.